Welcome to episode 34 of Venti Questions, the show with friends, coffee, and conversation. I'm Michael.
And I'm Chris. And today we're talking about time travel.
All right.
Yeah. You know, it's been a popular topic in science fiction.
For decades.
For decades. It's captured the imagination of people all over the world.
Uh-huh. And some of them talk normally. But if you want to hear what we have to say about it, and hopefully somebody takes an aspirin, listen all the way to the end to find out what our opinion says.
Where we're going, there are no roads.
Just copyrighted phrases.
Spielberg, damn it. What's new with you?
Well, not terribly that much, but I think I talked a little bit about the issue with us going to a MegaCon this year. It just being like a kind of a disappointment. The organizers for the games that we play seem to have taken a very lackluster interest in doing their job, and so there's just not a lot of offerings. So that being said, that actually caused the thing that's kind of new, which is kind of cool. So one of the ideas that we came up with was to get together still, right? Jonathan's still coming down, possibly having Jared come out as well, and trying to get just like a regular game together, just like with us, trying to get you to give it a try, which actually I think would be kind of fun just because of the fact that it would be very much not a normal type of game. And I had an idea, which is taking the plot and story beats from the movie Black Hawk Down and bringing it into the fantasy world and making Black Dragon Down.
Black Dragon Down. Was that a dog or a dragon?
That was a dragon.
Draco.
Dragons sound like Yoda dying. That's what it sounds like.
It's the dragon from Neverending Story, which you have not seen.
Falco?
Falco.
I still know his name. But yeah, no, so I came up with this idea for it, right? And like two different thought processes. One is where you guys would be playing as like the Delta Force units trying to like get in to rescue the guys.
Uh-huh.
And the other idea was you playing as the guys that are in like the square. And I came up with some pretty cool like thought process for it and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well, how can we make this so it's like actually like cool? So I started looking up like 3D printable like buildings and stuff. And boy, oh boy, did I find some. I found a really cool like style buildings that was done from a particular artist. It's like all Norwegian, so I can't pronounce any of it. So I feel really bad. I would love to give a shout out to these people because like they took some time, and they made like a bunch of different things that are very like customizable in the sense where it's like, here's a second floor. And the second floor can fit onto this one, or it can fit onto this one, or onto this one. And so it makes it so like each building could look a little bit different, right?
Okay.
So the idea is to build a board, maybe like a 4x4, like a 4x6 of like the downtown portion of the city. Have it so like maybe one corner is where like the dragons actually crashed, and then have like the rest of it being like just like the city center. Of like a medieval town type situation. And I think it would just be some really really cool ideas. I printed off a couple of like houses, like get sizes and figure that kind of stuff out, and it looks really good too. Since then, plans have changed a little bit here and there, so I don't know if that's going to end up happening during the time frame that originally we were talking about it, but it's definitely something now that's like on one of my back burners that I'm going to be slowly working on, because I think it's actually a really cool idea that not only has potential to be fun for, 3 or 4 people to play, but it could be something that would be like a fun, like 10, 15 person like thing to do. Like a big event type thing, to the point where if I actually made it cool and I actually took the time and actually painted it, blah, 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 I could see myself like giving them a shout next year and being like, hey guys, I want to run a unique event at this convention, and this is what I'm going to do.
I think it's an original enough idea where it blends two types of, like, two genres, together, and it's interesting.
I will say, I'll throw another movie in there that is more for you because you're the only kind of person that actually saw the movie with me. But Robin Hood.
Oh yeah,
that scene where they're going in and basically they have bows and arrows, but they're basically M16s,
right?
And it's Desert Storm.
Yeah, Robin of Locksley.
That is literally what I see in my mind, and it being like you have like crossbows, hand crossbows, regular bows, short bows. So it's like different like styles, different things. And then also have like a little bit of magic. Because there's a spell, it's called Magic Missile. And it basically shoots a magical arrow that cannot miss. And so it's like basically like a gun. And then also I was thinking about doing like, instead of having an RPG, it's like a one-shot ballista. It's like on your shoulder. And then instead of like regular grenades, there'll be like little magical stones that have been enchanted with like the light spell. So it's like flashbangs.
Magic stones.
So I thought of some really cool like little ideas that could work with it to really, really, really muscle it out. So I'm excited. I think I'm actually gonna put in some work onto it. Just not anytime like I'm not gonna rush it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Because I will say this. One building to print it off like completely is probably around like 50 to 60 hours.
Ugh, gross.
But it costs me maybe like $5 or $10 in like supplies.
It's not terrible.
Where if I was to purchase one of those, it'd be like $60 to $80 a piece. And I'm probably going to need like 30 or 40 of these.
Okay. So you're going to make it.
Yep. So, but yeah, no, I thought that was kind of a fun little like, hey, this is cool.
That's cool.
Turning the frown upside down, So, what's new with you?
Couple things. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, we're in a different room. A lot of that.
Surprise.
A lot of that is because from hurricane damage.
Yeah.
The water got into a wall. It was this whole big thing. I got a new roof. It was just this big disaster. And then there was mold in the wall. So right now there is mold mitigation going on where the room where we usually record, my front office, is all plasticed up, and they have dehumidifiers and just all these machinery, and they sprayed everything, chemicals, ripped out all the drywall in the affected areas, and now I'm basically, we just had to move all of the stuff. I've removed everything from that room and moved it all into my guest room, front room over here. So that's where we're sitting with all the stuff crammed into a room with our little couch against the window. Look, here.
I will say this. I currently have my feet propped up on a nice comfy bed. And while it was a little bit of a pain in the butt to get things figured out, this is more comfy. So
yeah,
they can stay in there as long as they want.
Yeah. And they probably will. Yeah. That's how that stuff happens.
It's hourly
construction. So there's that. But, that's just something that happened that I'm dealing with. And in terms of what is actually new with me.
Sorry, I was yawning.
I know. I saw that, and we all saw. Yeah.
I covered my mouth. I was polite.
You were polite. Yes, you were. I'm just finishing up a book right now.
Which series?
It's not a series. It's basically the Tao Te Ching. It's by Lao Tzu. I believe it's how it's pronounced, but it's a different version of it than I was reading before. This is, I think, John, is it Minford that's translated this one, and he added a bunch of other commentary and other poems that kind of complement each chapter of it and whatnot. So it's interesting. So I'm almost done with that. It's 88 chapters or 81 chapters, something like that. But the commentary extends each thing, each of the chapters. But each chapter is the chapters in this thing is just literally like a verse of something,
Okay.
So it's super easy, but the extra stuff added to it, just, I guess, adds to some of the history, some of the art, some of the poetry and whatnot. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's not too bad. It's pretty cool.
It's cool.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of been chill this past week overall.
Yeah.
Obviously craziness, but still just overall kind of chill.
Yeah.
All right. So I have some questions for you, sir, that are time and or travel related.
They have to be both for it to really make sense.
Oh no, I messed up my assignment. All right. This was a question that I asked you a long time ago, but I don't remember if it was on a podcast.
Okay.
Or if it was on one of the other things we did a long time ago. Would you rather go back in time to meet your ancestors or go into the future to meet your great-grandchildren?
Future.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why?
Just to see if they knew who I am.
Oh my God.
If I made a difference in the wrinkle of time. No.
That is why they will never know your name.
Exactly. No, I just think it would be the ancestors thing. I mean, how far back do you go? What do you say to them? Does it matter? Then do you screw something up? Right?
Oh, like paradox type.
Yeah, I don't know how this thing works, but at least if you go in the future, it's not like you can mess anything up. You already existed, unless you leaving your present timeline going to the future messes up the future.
Is this like some...
I'm just saying.
The time traveler's wife thing?
You never know.
We'll get into that stuff later. All right, cool.
But yeah, future is my answer. How about you?
Future, I feel like you kind of gotta go future, but only because I'm like, I don't like any of those people. I don't know any of those people. So it's like, yeah, part of me, I guess, would be like, oh, yeah, to learn my heritage a little bit more. But the other part of me is like, but it doesn't really matter. I'd probably want to go like hang out with like my great grandchildren just to be like, hey, how's your mom doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
What's going on with the people I know? You know what I mean? So,
Right.
I think that'd be interesting. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Sorry, boring. If you could time travel to any era in history, which one would you choose and why?
We're now referring to past, right?
Yes, any era in history.
Yeah. So I would say, well, history, depending on where you stand in the timeline, could be
Era.
Yeah. But if you're in the future talking about it, it hasn't happened yet. I would probably say, don't look at the camera and shake your head.
I'm looking at the camera and shaking my head.
Don't look at the camera and shake your head.
I'm nodding now. You can't yell at me.
Nottingham.
Oh,
I don't know, man. Honestly, because
I know where I'm going.
you think about these things and then you're like, yeah, but maybe we're romanticizing it a little bit. Maybe it's not that great,
That's not
in
why
certain
I'm going.
eras. So,
I'm world dominating.
you're a world dominating.
Yeah. You want to know? Well, you know what my plan is.
Let's hear the master master plan.
Wow. I'm not going to Germania. Okay, calm yourself down, sir.
Calm yourself down, Michael.
Did you say calm yourself down? I'm not going to the USSR either. Calm down. No, I would want to go to like medieval Europe. I mean, okay, Germania is there, but I'm not going specifically for them because they're too crazy. The goals are like insane. But I would love to be able to go to that era and be like, all right, there's this thing called aerobics.
Mm-hmm.
Let me teach you this shit. I feel that if I was able, with my basic knowledge, right, to get like 25, 50 people into basic training, military level of fitness, we could take over so many little like kingdom areas, because you don't need a lot of men back then, right?
Okay.
And most of them, while they were skilled with weaponry, they could like not go for a long period of time. Stamina was not their friend, right?
Okay.
So I'm coming in with these guys like lean and mean. They're dipping, diving, and dodging. And they're like, you know what I'm saying?
Like that.
Yeah. It's a spear.
Oh, that's a thick spear. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Spear of destiny.
Sword.
Oh, I know. I made it a spear.
Anyway. But no, I honestly feel like that would be like a game changer, honestly.
Okay.
Simple like knowledge of that. And then also you got to think that I wouldn't be going for like the knights, right? I'd be going to the people.
Okay. You're the people's champion. I get it.
100%, because the people's champion is the one that's like, hey, all of you people that get shite on all day long, you want to go realize that there's 75 of us and 3 of them? Let's go have some meat.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm causing a revolution.
Revolution. Yeah. All right. So
that's my era and why.
Mine's gonna be a little lame, I guess, but I just more out of curiosity than anything else.
I just want to see the great artists.
No, I want prehistoric era would be where I'd go.
Oh, okay. I'll give you that. That's actually pretty legit. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. I just honestly, we see all the stuff that we think looks like the way it should have been, and dinosaurs and all this crap.
I just recently watched a documentary on that.
Right.
We're so stupid.
We're so dumb.
It's just, I love it.
Right. Jurassic Park really just changed our view of what dinosaurs look like.
This is what I don't know if you watched the same thing. It was a documentary literally talking about how Jurassic Park has ruined what we think
I
of
haven't,
dinosaurs.
but I know that because I've read into it too.
And then also the fact that like Jurassic Park, it isn't even the right name, because 90% of the animals that were in the Jurassic period are not the animals that you, or the dinosaurs that you see there. They were from the Cretaceous period,
yeah,
which is actually the most recent one. Jurassic is further back.
Cretaceous period.
Cretaceous. Thank you.
Yeah. So
sorry, I literally watched this like 3 days ago. That's why it was just so topical.
No, I mean, I just out of curiosity. That's really all it is. It's understanding it. It'd be terrifying, I'm sure.
Oh, by the way, I'm not thinking that I'm not going to get killed, by the way. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to die.
Yeah. So if I'm going to die, I'd love to. The cool thing about me dying back in the prehistoric era is that if they do find my bones, then it's a game changer in terms of when man.
Well, see, you know what the crazy part is? Just realize that my family crest is going to be like anime influenced, and like I am going to make historians go like, what the F?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to have like cherry blossoms on this thing. Like I'm just going to be like using all the stuff that I know is nowhere from where I am,
Yeah.
and there's no connection to it, so that it becomes like a freaking conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah, they're gonna find my fossilized watch.
Yeah.
Or something like
Your
that.
fossilized fossil watch.
It's not a fossil watch, but okay. But yes, good job.
Really?
Yeah.
You couldn't take a fossil back with you?
No, although fossil was my first watch.
I think it was like everybody's first watch, and then you go to Casio.
No, I had Casio before fossil.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I did Fossil and then Casio.
Yeah, I had a Timex Iron Man was my first watch, and then I had
I've seen some of those.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I think it'd be cool just to kind of check it out, see what the heck the world was about back then. So
That's cool. No, it is cool though. I like that. I will be honest. I've had this conversation with other people before, and the people that say like, "Oh, I want to go to the Renaissance era," I get it. It's cool. Do you? What I mean? Like honestly, like
for what?
if that's because of all the art and all the
See that crap now.
And that's me. That's what I'm about.
It's not like they're on every street corner. Oh.
I'm not going back to a place to see a thing. No, I'm going back to a place to like be part of a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is what it is. Although, okay.
Japan.
No, I just thought
Edo
of
era or something.
No, I just thought of if we were going back to the Renaissance era though, like you're a pretty decent like artist. We would blow them out of the water.
Think so?
Technique? No. Subject matter.
Subject matter, yeah.
Like, yeah, Leonardo da Vinci, right?
I thought you were going to say DiCaprio.
I almost did. That's why I was like really messed up.
Da Vinci.
Yeah, like all of his like technical drawings of all these like different vehicles and architecture.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, bro.
Yeah.
Check out this shit. It's called a car.
It's called a Tesla.
It's called a Michael. Come on, man. But yeah, like that kind of like stuff, just with our natural knowledge of stuff that's basic now. Yeah. Technique wise, like I said, they would destroy us.
Well, just our basic knowledge of engineering or whatever it is. Like,
not only that, we could be like, hey, you see this paint you're using? Yeah, this stuff's shit. Yeah, come on, let's go get some ingredients. Let me show you how to make some good stuff.
Some synthetic ingredients.
Teach them how to make acrylic paint. But yeah, that was a good one though. Would you rather have the power to freeze time or the power to travel through time? Can I give a prefix to this?
Sure.
So I'm assuming that what it means by freeze time is kind of like time freeze, and then like you can move around.
Time out. Yeah, like Zach Morris that Saved by the Bell.
Oh, I was doing Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
When the little tiny frog-looking guy from the Ginyu Forest could do time freeze, but he had to hold his breath.
Yeah.
To be able to move. Yeah. I never watched Saved by the Bell.
Really?
Yeah.
AC Slater? No.
I know who they are.
Screech?
Let me rephrase that. I never watched it when it was topical to watch it.
Oh, got
I've seen maybe like 10 or 15 episodes, but like I was in like
later in life.
I was in like my mid-20s.
So it didn't hit.
No.
Yeah.
I thought it was stupid.
Of course.
But
you would.
I still watched. Well, I probably would have thought it was stupid back then too. This is my personality.
It's just
everybody loved it.
People watched it back then, so you watched it back then. That was really
yeah. I wasn't allowed to.
But I would rather travel through time because you could do the same thing, but better. Oh, I couldn't freeze it in this moment, but what I can do is keep going back to before that moment and make that thing happen still.
Okay. I want to come back to this when we get to the actual time travel thing because of the paradox aspect, but I'm interested in going deeper into this, just not right now.
Okay.
I would actually choose the freeze time, personally.
I don't want to know why.
No, honestly, not that. Just like I feel like it would be the best way to create mayhem.
Yeah. Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Flash. He moves fast.
It's basically with the Flash.
But he moves through time because he is so fast, right? So it's essentially the same thing, and it's like just like the Quicksilver scene where he just like taking his time doing things, and everything's pretty much frozen around them.
No. Yeah. Okay. So that's what it is, really.
So if I'm moving
the
through
difference
time
between Quicksilver and the Flash.
Okay.
Because the Flash can actually travel to different times because he gets into the Speed Force on like
he could do both.
Right, I know. But I'm talking about depiction-wise.
Okay.
Like movie-wise. So this new movie would be traveling through time. The Flash movie, sorry.
Right.
And then the X-Men series version of Quicksilver would be the Quicksilver, where he's just so fast that time is basically frozen.
Or a Zack Snyder cut of Justice League where he does the same thing, little hot dog and the car thing and all that stuff.
I feel like Quicksilver's was... I'm not saying Quicksilver is faster than the Flash. Let me just clarify that. I think the depiction of Quicksilver's scene in Days of Future Past gives the appearance that he is actually faster.
Sure.
Because he takes way longer to do way more things than Barry has a chance to do in the Flash. I just want to clarify that I was not taking a stance one way or the other.
Quicksilver can't jump into the Speed Force.
No, he can't access the Speed Force. He ain't fucking cool like fucking the Flash, bro.
That's right, man.
Flash family, bro.
Yeah, strength.
Boom. All about that DC. Oh, I had so many other things I wanted to say. But yeah, okay, so that was cool. I like that one too. If you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
If I could turn back time. Share.
Remember that Family Guy episode where Meg reenacts that video?
Yeah.
And everybody starts throwing up.
Yes, I would too.
Yeah. Well, not if it was the voice of Meg.
No. Oh yeah, it's not too bad. Mila Kunis, right? Yeah. What advice I'd give myself?
Yeah, you could give yourself one piece of advice. What would it be?
That's tough because you wouldn't. Who would listen?
Let's say that you would listen. Let's say that you had the 15-minute Ryan Reynolds freak out of like proving that you really were who you were.
Okay.
And now they're actually like attentively listening.
Be cool. Stay in school.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
You didn't do any of those things.
No. Drugs or stay in school.
That's why I was laughing about it. I was like, that's so funny.
No, I mean, I probably would have. It probably would be, the advice would be find a passion, find a thing that I really enjoy and stick with it and do it and just continue, right? Because I love to explore different things, jump from thing to thing. But if I was young and I got into something, and just really educated myself on it or got an education in it, then I'd feel like it'd be a lot further along where I want to be than where I am now today.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I'd be like, depending on when I went back, right? If I could choose when I go back,
buy Apple stocks.
No, I mean it is a little bit like that, but not like trying to game the system, and it's not like that.
Right? Bet on the Braves.
Jesus. Bet somebody that Mark McGuire is freaking juicing.
Yeah.
No, I would be like, look, bro, in like a year or so, you're gonna hear about this website. It's called YouTube. You're gonna love the idea of it. And you're going to be like, I want to do that. But it's going to, if you don't do what I say, it's going to take you like 25 years before you finally actually take the time and dedication to actually start to do it, because you're going to get stuck in analysis paralysis. Freaking go get a webcam. Just do your shit. You know what I mean? Like that would be
then get a webcam.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's why I was saying it. Because it's like, isn't what I'd say now. I'd be like, just use your phone, bro.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't exist like that back then. But no, that would be my biggest thing, because like doing like the video and audio and all that kind of stuff, I always had an interest in it, always wanted to do it, but then I just never I never took that final step.
Right.
And because of that, it really kind of
set you back when it came to...
Yeah, because the thought process, some of the thoughts that I've had of doing, I had a long time ago before other people started doing things like that. And I've always been like, oh, I really should have done this. And there's been twice now where I started to do it and then just was like, I don't know. And then later it became a really big thing. And I'm just like,
yeah.
So
no, that makes sense.
That would be my big thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically the same as mine is you know, find the thing.
Find the thing that you enjoy doing that gives you happiness and figure out how to be able to do it more often.
Have that supreme focus. Obsess about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we've known people who've obsessed about the things that people they were laughed at.
Oh, yes, he was.
Yeah. And and just continue to stay doing it and just making it, you know, making their way now. So yeah. Sort of.
I got my way downtown.
Walking past.
All right. Would you... Sorry, I started reading the wrong one. Would you rather go back in time and change a major event in history or witness an event that hasn't happened yet?
Don't we all witness events that haven't happened yet?
I believe what it's trying to say is, would you rather be at ground zero for a major event that's about to happen, or go back and be at ground zero at a major event that already did happen?
I would not want to be at ground zero.
It's a term. It's not a physical location.
Well,
I'm not talking about the Twin Towers.
All right. Well, you got to specify. I would say going back.
So you would change a major event?
I would try to. It'd probably cause another major event.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I would change a major event.
Okay, I'm going off script. I have a totally different question that spawned from
what would
question.
you do?
Oh, I'm sorry. I would go back in time. Okay. But it kind of is connected to this.
Okay.
So you go through like there's like a portal opens up, right? And you walk through it. And you walk into a hospital.
Oh boy.
In Germany. In the maternity ward. And there you see...
I'd strangle him.
Adolf Hitler. What would you do? You have 5 minutes being alone where you could off this baby if you wanted to. Would you actually do it?
I just hug him because I think that's what he needed. What I would do is I'd take a Sharpie and I'd draw a little Hitler mustache on him.
You gotta draw a reverse Hitler mustache so that it looks like a regular one when the other part grows in.
No, because it wouldn't grow in. The point is I would draw the little mustache and then I'd strangle the baby.
Oh.
So that way, I would know what I'm doing. I wouldn't feel bad about it. I'm like, you know what? It's little Hitler. Like, come on, guys.
I guess the real question is, and it's kind of time travel-esque, right? But like the morality of like, do you feel like you could morally handle doing it? To take you slightly off the hook here, I wouldn't hesitate.
Well, you're asking if I could morally do it, right?
Right.
Honestly, it's tough. Killing anything, I think, is
I would not
tough.
hesitate.
You wouldn't hesitate?
Not at all. Let me rephrase. I would hesitate until I knew for sure it really was Adolf Hitler.
I don't speak
it was
German.
That one. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like if Rufus comes up and says like, no, that's him. Then I'm like, all right, cool. Thanks, Rufus.
Yeah. Yeah. I would, it's that tough one because how many Adolf Hitlers were there?
It's the right one.
It's like, and then it's like, my baby, and then it's like,
and then over there you see one going,
right? No, I would.
Now I'm going after the Italians.
Yeah.
He's a newborn. I don't know. He can still talk.
Yeah. I wish I knew a little bit more about history to understand the upbringing of Adolf Hitler. Cause
Pretty bad. His father, he got like beat and all kinds. Like he came from a broken home.
Right.
Then his mother didn't appreciate the things that he appreciated.
Right.
Like it was like worst case scenario.
So I'm going to approach this similar to Cosmic Ghost Rider, where instead of killing him, he takes baby Thanos, because it's the same thing here, and changes history because of that, and tries to raise him and make him a better
I get it.
person.
Yeah,
so I would probably do that. I'd probably just remove him from the situation.
Yeah, so would I.
But not kill.
Oh, never mind.
Man. So you have a choice to nurture this baby, or murder it. And the outcome would be the same, him not being who he is. Right?
Well, we don't. Here's the difference. All right. So you have 5 minutes. Like I said, it's 5 minutes.
Oh, there's a time limit on
right. So you could try to
take
grab
it and
him,
go back with me to
and get the heck out of that place. I almost said hotel, hospital, right? And then decide to stay in the past and raise up Mr. Little Adolf. Obviously, we'd change his name, but there's still a chance he could turn out bad.
Switch name tags at the hospital.
But there's a 0% chance of him turning out bad if he turns out dead.
I mean,
it doesn't mean that things won't still happen.
Someone else can just take its place.
Absolutely,
right?
always a possibility.
That void will be filled, right?
It depends on how you feel. Time travel, wiggly wobbly.
And what if it's worse? Then
we don't know. That's
right?
the whole thing. You don't know. I know. That's why it's a quandary.
I would just leave it as is.
You just be like, "Fuck," walk away.
Don't be a dick, Adolf.
It's like just break a leg and walk away. No one's gonna trust a cripple.
I'd kill his father.
That actually is something that a lot of people say.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have had the domestic abuse aspect.
Yeah.
Which is, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. All right, I got a couple more of these because they actually all are really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that, and this one's gonna be crap. Oh yeah. If you could bring back one thing from the past to the present, what would it be? I'll go ahead and even say
Adolf Hitler. Just kidding.
It could be a thing or an idea or if you say I want to bring back jousting, that could be a thing as too. Versus just saying I want to bring back Excalibur.
I wish you could say take something away because that would be
okay. Screw it. Let's edit
gunpowder.
Oh, I'm with you because you know what I was gonna say. Trial by combat with
bring it back
swords. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Heck yeah, dude. And I'm right there with you. Get rid of gunpowder.
It's
the same thing, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just honorable combat. That's all we want.
Just bring back. Well, it's easy. All right, walk around with a sword all day and challenge people to duels, but that's fine. But I don't know.
I guess that is romanticized.
If we could just annihilate guns,
that'd be great.
That'd be great.
That'd be super.
I'm not anti-gun, you know that.
I'm very aware that you are not anti-gun.
I have them, but it's I don't want them.
No, we've had that conversation too, and I agree with you on that point. All right, I got a couple more. Sorry. Would you rather time travel to the future and see how the world ends, or stay in the present and not know?
So just do what I'm doing now.
Do what you're doing now,
or be able to time travel.
You're given the option to time travel to the end and find out how it ends. You don't get to come back, essay.
Either way, I mean,
you're either going to die here or you're going to die when the world ends.
In the book I'm reading,
oh God,
it said a depressed person lives in the past, an anxious person lives in the future, and a person at peace essentially lives in the present. So
that's some good I like that.
Yeah, because if you're always worrying about
That's
future,
actually really deep, bro.
That's right. So the present, I think.
That is super, super real, because anytime I've ever been depressed, it's because I'm fixating on some sort of past thing that it's like, oh, I should have done this. I'm an idiot and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. 4th century BCE words of wisdom.
Yeah.
So,
all right. If you could have a conversation with any historical figure, who would it be and why? Hitler. I'd be like, listen, you little shit.
Adolf Hitler.
Adolf Hitler's father.
Thomas Jefferson.
You got any tips, bruh?
It's funny. Just the tips.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, it's a good question.
Yeah, just gotta buy them.
I think Newton. That's funny. Newton would probably be the one I would go after there.
Okay.
Sir Isaac Newton.
He's the gravity guy, right? The apple hit the head thing.
Yeah. He's the gravity guy.
Yeah, the gravity guy. Yeah.
Oh God.
No, refresh my memory, because I know that he did like he was like a bunch of things.
Father of modern science. Basically.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
and just science in general.
I know
I would
that
say
everybody only ever talks about the whole Apple thing, which is hilarious.
There's been talk of like who's smarter, him or Einstein. People are, oh, Einstein, but like Einstein had science to work off of.
Okay, Einstein was smarter in mathematics, which is a thing that's connected to science. He's not like a major science guy, though.
Newton started it, though.
Right, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
These concepts weren't happening, and people weren't thinking about the world this way and things this way. And he was the person who kicked it off, you know? So I think that'd be, his thoughts are probably just like out of this world, you know? That's who I would say.
This is actually difficult.
Benjamin Franklin might be a second, actually, for me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Did you hear about Benjamin? Like, one of the things he said about...
That's the kite guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
He's the guy of the $100 bill. Right?
Oh, that's
right?
Benjamin.
Benjamin's.
Yeah.
He said he's been
I've ever seen the $100.
He's been credited with saying the first thing you do when you move into a neighborhood is to ask for a favor from one of your neighbors, because it does a few different things. It puts, first of all, it puts you in debt to them, which it's interesting because then they feel like good people because they've helped you.
Okay.
Coming into the neighborhood. So they feel the superiority of essentially, or this goodwill feeling of, oh, I helped my neighbor, and it allows them to be presented in a good light, right, to their neighbor, right, neighborly, essentially, and basically then it gives you the opportunity to do something for them and open up that relationship of commerce and neighborly trade. Very interesting, right?
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that's that's a little anecdote that I did not know, and I think it's actually really interesting.
I like these little anecdotes. Those are like
a little manipulation. Yeah. I like that. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what warlord would I want to meet?
I'm like I'm the opposite, huh? I go in a different direction than you do. That's weird.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, no. I thought about what
Genghis Khan.
No, Genghis Khan was one of the ones I thought about, but I'm like, no, because I don't think culturally I was as interested in what he was putting down, you know. But like maybe one of like the Roman.
We were all related to him.
Yeah. Maybe one of the Roman
centurions.
No.
Oh, you're thinking like.
Yes, I can't think of what Caesar's position is called. Emperor. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry, brain not working.
Caesar.
Yeah. That would be an interesting thing, or just any one of like the politicians in that like regard.
Okay.
Just because I think that like they had a great idea on paper. I'd love to see, and like, you know, we hear and we've read about some of the stuff that went down, but I'd like to get some more of it.
Alexander the Great, maybe, or something like that.
Alexander the Great would be interesting. Napoleon would be interesting.
Yeah.
I liked people that have to do with not only a military strategic aspect of things, but also were in charge of the commerce and everything as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's such a crazy duality they had to have. You know, I mean, they all eventually failed, but, you know, it's still interesting. They almost all ended up taking too much of a risk or trying to have too much, got a little greedy, and then everything kind of like
True.
crap. Like all of those people that we just talked about.
Right.
They stretched themselves too thin and then just standards went down.
Yep.
So
not Jesus.
No, it's a historical figure, not fictional figure. Last one.
Historical.
He's historically fictional. Sure, you're right. Yeah, Zeus.
That'd be good.
Yeah. If you could travel to any point in time and witness a musical performance, which one would it be? This one I like. I like this because I'm not even thinking like Mozart or anything like that. I'm not going back there, bro.
That's a good one. I don't know because
I don't have like a on this date at this location. I don't have that.
Michael Jackson, the Thriller Tour.
But that is definitely probably the one I was going to say.
I know you
Because
so well.
it's like, oh gosh, I would love to have been able to see him in like Thriller time frame. You know, only had one surgery so far, was still good, like hadn't like completely body dysmorphia yet. Like that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Or
when he was still a little boy, not allegedly touching little boys.
no, I want him to be an adult.
Oh, okay. Not
Like I said,
Jackson 5, like
no,
Thriller,
not
Thriller
Jackson
time?
5. No,
Okay.
post first surgery.
Got it. Okay.
After he, like, because he had like when he had his first nose job.
Got it.
It's right after that is when he had like Billie Jean.
Oh yeah,
and all
yeah,
that, like
yeah.
that, like it's like the Thriller tour. Like
Sure,
honestly,
sure.
like that.
Okay.
That one right there would be a good one. It also might be interesting to see like the Beatles in like their like heyday.
Yeah.
Or
You
just
could
people at that
honestly-
time frame.
Any of those, like
Any of those, like,
I'll
yeah.
let you name and you'll roll your eyes, but like even Elvis, Beatles, like anyone from,
Young Elvis, hell yeah, man!
Yeah,
I'm not going to Vegas with you to watch.
No, I wouldn't do that.
That's depressing.
Yeah, I wouldn't do
I'm not
that.
wasting my historical thing on fat Elvis.
Yeah,
Like-
prime Elvis.
Yeah,
I
he
hear
had
was
blues,
was
like Blue Hawaii Elvis, like that time frame.
yeah, I
Heck
hear he was phenomenal then. So
Ugh.
actually, the '68 comeback special I heard was pretty good.
Yeah, I think that would. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that like had like a crazy like just thing going on with them, you know.
Musicians, no. I mean, if you can expand that to like famous like people, like actors, musicians, like arts, like people of the
Okay.
arts, I would say Bruce Lee. I would like to meet Bruce Lee.
Really?
I think that'd be super interesting. I do.
I get it. I'm not hating on it. I just want to clarify that because Bruce Lee is Bruce Lee. There's multiple other martial artists like that I would rather meet.
Not me. I
I'd
would
rather
like
meet Donnie Yen.
still alive.
I know.
No, I was saying historic. Like
I know. He is historical.
okay.
You're going to tell me that Donnie Yen's not going to make it on the Mount Rushmore of martial artists after he dies?
No, but he's still alive. You can still meet him now. My point,
I know,
my
but
point
like
is-
I don't have that kind of connections, my man.
no, I know. I'm just saying, like,
If
people,
you have a connection
who
with
you
Donnie
couldn't-
Yen, if you can get me in touch with Donnie Yen, send me a comment.
I'll call him my boy Keanu. He'll get you.
I'll appreciate that.
He'll get you.
appreciate
You
that.
know.
Such a schmuck. But yeah, no, I Bruce Lee just didn't have as much of an place for me growing up as he did for you.
Yeah.
I started getting into that genre after the effect.
I know.
That's all.
Yeah.
Like I've always also liked Jet Li more,
Sure.
but you know,
It's the thing, like when you see when you see it first, when it's been done for the first time, it's like, oh my gosh, this is revolutionary. Versus like you come to it later in the game when you saw already people built on that, and it's better, you know.
I will say this: I'm pretty sure I saw Blade before I saw anything with Bruce Lee.
Yeah, it's so sad.
I know. Hey, I'm not trying to like brag here. Like, trust me, it's just because of how I grew up.
Yeah.
That was not on the table. You know what I mean? There wasn't anybody who was like, check out this fight scene.
Right.
And yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I didn't think of one. Now I want to have like a person. Man, they have to be dead to be historical, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Do you want to do alive? We can do both.
I have like the same person,
but then it's
artistically.
not time travel.
Yeah. Well, I'd
in
rather
their prime.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd rather go see a younger George Lucas, one that didn't lie so much yet. Still had creative control.
Okay.
I just feel like a lot of the stuff that he worked on and like created and stuff like that, or actually probably even less him and more some of the guys that were at the oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of the company.
LucasArts?
No, Imperial
Light Magic.
Yes,
Yeah,
Imperial Light Magic. Sorry, my brain just totally sputtered out.
I saw that documentary. That was pretty cool. Yeah,
I told you that was good, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, did you see the thing about the T-Rex? That I told you about how like they had to slow it down.
Yeah.
It didn't look right. Oh, dude, that was so cool. And how they were like so underhanded about it too. They were like, "Hey, check this out. Oh, isn't that kind of cool?" While you happen to be touring.
Yeah.
Oh, it was it was Cloak and Dagger, bro. I loved it. All right, so that's all I got for the questions. All right, so here's the thing: time travel, right? Currently, it's still all make believe, right?
Yeah.
So the only real like thought process we have to go off of are like books and movies and things of that nature.
Sure.
Right. So I guess my real question is, when you think about time travel as if it was real, right? Like when you're like coming up with that scenario.
Okay.
Which movie / like book do you kind of like look to as like the definitive, well, this is how it would be?
You're going to hate me saying this.
Which one?
You're going to just hate it.
If it's like Time Cop, I'm going to kick your ass.
That'd be so cool.
I'm glad it's not, though. Okay, thank God.
No, it's not.
What?
But it's kind of time travel. Interstellar.
Oh, God. Okay, cool. Explain to me how the time travel works in Interstellar, because I don't know how it works. I haven't seen it.
It's just what the modern theory, I guess, is of time travel, like how time works, right?
Okay.
Basically, think of like going through a black hole and ending up somewhere. But like as you travel, they basically, it's not so much you're traveling through time as much as you're kind of away. It has to do with gravity and how time affects a world, right? So like the further you are away from it, I guess the way they explain it in the movie is they take a black hole, like explain a black hole is they fold a piece of paper over and they put a pen through it, this way. And right, you've seen that representation of what a black hole is, to travel from this place to this place.
Jane Foster.
Right, exactly. So, but that's basically that. I mean, it's just time and space. So
it's also the way they explain it in A Wrinkle in Time.
I think it is too.
Yeah. I never saw that movie, but I remember.
Yeah, I just think because of how you're traveling and where you're traveling through it, you're able to then get somewhere way in the future, right? Or if you're like how time works differently relative to where you are in space. I guess that's the way they explain it.
Okay.
So, which requires you having to travel somewhere physically in space to then be able to manipulate the time. So for instance, there's an example where they're on a planet, and because of where they are, it's closest to this black hole, whatever it is.
The Damon planet.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
They age quicker. So X amount of
1 second is like 6 minutes or 6
right,
hours,
something like that. So then if like they spend an hour there, it's like 10 years or some crazy stuff like that. So then they get back and it's like the guy who's been waiting for them, it's like he's old as shit now, you know?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I've been waiting here for like 10 years and you haven't, you know, and he still stayed there doing it. And he's like, it's crazy, right? But they're all there. It's coming back the same age and everything. But yeah, so that's kind of crazy. I would think that'd be closest to the way it would work, because you're, once again, spatially, you're in different area, you're moving, right? I don't think it's like you get in a machine and then it takes you somewhere. You're going fast enough to manipulate time,
okay,
you know, or anything like that, you know.
Okay.
Like in this world, on this planet.
Right. See, I've always thought, and I think it always just depends on like the things that either hit with you the most or the things that you saw there first, right?
Okay.
Those are typically how like your thought process is work.
Sure.
Obviously Back to the Future is like almost everybody's intro into time travel.
Yep. You need a flux capacitor to make it happen.
Right.
Or a garbage disposal. Sorry.
I just recently watched a documentary on DeLorean as well.
Did you?
Yeah, it was actually really interesting. I did not know.
You didn't know that?
I knew a lot of the stuff. I didn't know all of the stuff. Like the whole like court stuff. I don't want to get into it because I'm gonna go like
They're making them now again. DeLoreans, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
You went down in the deep.
I have to show you this YouTube channel because this is what they do.
Yeah.
It's just like random topics, and it's like a good like 45 to an hour and a half, like deep, fully researched dive. I love it. All kinds of companies and like just anyway, okay, moving on. So that's like the first thought process I have.
Okay.
And while I agree real world sciencey stuff, it's probably not going to be a machine you get into and then like you're like an elevator door opens and it's like 1975.
Sure.
But I kind of feel like that's how it probably will end up being, because it's going to be something like ridiculous and people are going to be like, this is so stupid. And then it's going to be like, no, but for real, check this out.
Yeah. So you see it being like more like H.G. Wells' Time Machine, the Time Machine versus...
I have never read and or seen that movie. I apologize. There's a movie.
There's a movie.
Yeah.
They've made it a few times. It's a book.
It's a book. I saw The Wishbone.
Okay.
I do remember seeing the wishbone of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Nice. Good for you.
Come on, we got to pound it for wishbone.
Got to pound it for wishbone. Okay.
But yeah, so that's where my mind kind of goes. It's more like I do think machine you get into, not we have to be going X amount of speed during this, like, to me, the whole moving through time thing is less likely somehow in my brain than the get into this little thing and we press a button and like magic science stuff happens.
Okay.
Which I think is also dumb. That's just the way my brain works.
Yeah.
The whole thing is stupid, but it's just,
No, that makes sense. How about the movie, which I thought was a pretty interesting concept. I don't know if you've seen it. Frequency. Have you watched that?
No. Is that the one where he talks to his son through like an AM,
right?
Not walkie-talkie, CB radio,
right?
I feel like you've explained it to me, and like it gave me goosebumps. It was like creepy cool.
It's one of those movies that like.
Is that Dennis? No,
we did this last time.
I know it's that guy though.
Yeah,
we both know who he is, but I can't say his name.
Is it Dennis Quaid?
It's the guy who was in The Rookie, right?
Yeah.
That's Dennis Quaid, right?
Oh boy.
We can't look it up again.
No.
It took us way too long last time. I know it's not the dude that I thought.
Quantum Leap. That was the conversation we had last time.
That's what it started from.
Right,
yeah.
right.
No, and that's a completely weird name that we never would have guessed.
Right. But I think this guy
It's
is
like Bio or Bayo or.
I think this is Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And no, this was a good one where he's communicating I think he's communicating in the past or in the future, or he's communicating with his son in the future.
He's communicating with his son, yeah.
Right.
So I can't remember who the actor was that played his son, but it was somebody else, but he had black
and
hair.
like
That's all I
they
remember.
come to find like he's not, like he died, like he couldn't survive, like because his dad's not alive. He's communicating with his son when his son is a man
right
now, and they have a relationship and they actually get to know each other, which he never had that because his dad died. Right. It was that kind of thing, like, you can't tell me, kind of thing, or whatever it is, or he's trying to tell him and then like the sequel doesn't, kind of thing, or whatever it is. And
every time travel movie, there's that one moment where it's like, you can't tell me.
Right.
I can't see this.
Yeah, I don't remember how that happens and unfolds in this movie, but what I do know is it's one of those, like, you feel good in that movie because, like, at least they had that time to get to know each other.
Right.
And they wouldn't have.
That's cool. So it's like a feel-gooder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I don't know if I would call this a feel-good movie.
I think it's more likely to communicate across time.
Communication, I can see that.
Because, yeah, I mean, that in that example, it's radio waves or whatever it is. But, like, look at stars and how they're explained. It's like they're all, the ones we're looking at are burnt out. They're already dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're just seeing the light getting to us now.
We are looking at things that currently do not exist.
Which is insane. And that's time travel. Essentially.
Yeah, no. But I think, like, by definition, it technically is. Yeah. All right. Did you ever see The Time Traveler's Wife?
Eric Bana. And Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that not the creepiest freaking thought process of a movie ever?
It's creepy. It's tragic. It's kind of cool, but
it's more creepy and tragic than anything else.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, hi, little girl. One day, I'm going to be your husband.
We're going to make babies.
And the only reason why you're going to want to be with me is because of this meeting right now and how influential I am over you as a small child, as a random man that just shows up.
But yes and no, because you keep going back and like, yeah, but he knew her from something else. Like, you don't know where it starts.
This is where I want it. This is why I brought it up.
The loop.
Right. Is the whole time travel paradox thing.
Right.
Which is, if you go back in time and if you go back in time and kill the current timed you, what happens to the future you that is now back in that time? Do you then no longer have the ability to come back in time because you now no longer existed? But then if you no longer existed, that means that you wouldn't be able to have killed the person, that's the true paradox.
So how it's explained through theory of modern science, from what I've gathered on this, is once you remove yourself from your timeline, you are now separate from the timeline.
Right, because you're on a different timeline. You've created a
new timeline.
You've created a variant.
A variant. Correct.
Thanks, Marvel. We appreciate your assistance.
But it was before Marvel.
I know. Calm down.
Popularized.
Don't get all loud.
I'm just saying.
No, but I get what you're saying there. Because that also goes back to the whole Einstein
theory of relativity.
There's 3 of them. Marty McFly. Back to the Future 2. Sorry. Where
Einstein the dog? Was
Einstein
that
the dog.
Okay.
Yeah. Because this is the trail.
You were saying Einstein.
No, this is the trail.
I got that, and then you said Einstein.
Right, because he was the first one to time travel.
I thought you were talking about the theory of relativity, because you went like this. I'm like, well, that's the train, and that's how Einstein got the
I can
theory.
see where you were confused. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because your logic also followed a very direct path. Okay. But in the second one, right, they go to the future. Just Biff gets the almanac, goes back to the past, that then creates a new future that then when they come back to, they are now part of a different timeline. On paper, because I've seen it on paper, it's confusing, but it makes sense, right?
Sure.
Which, by the way, totally off topic, on topic. You know how like we keep seeing Biff, the old Biff, like in pain and like hurting himself and whatnot? Do you know why?
Keeps taking those nasty spills.
No.
Oh.
He's being erased. Because when he goes back in the past and changes how his future will change, that version of him no longer exists.
Oh.
That's why he's in pain. How freaking dark and twisted is that?
Okay.
I was like, what? Behind the scene kind of thing I saw recently.
Oh.
It's a really good documentary.
Is it legit or is it fan theory based?
It was
because it happens all the time.
I know.
After the fact,
I
oh.
can't tell you 100%, but I want to say that it was the director that said it.
Okay.
It was either the director or it was like one of the writers. It might have been one of the writers.
Did Spielberg do that one?
I have no idea. Did he direct that?
All of them, I'm not sure. But
really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know who directed them, to be completely honest.
Pretty sure.
Interesting. But yeah, no, I thought that was just fucking like crazy. It's like that's kind of twisted. But okay, so my I guess my thought process is like, so let's use like actual times to make things a little bit easier, right?
Okay.
So we're currently in 2023.
We sure are.
Cool. So we're in this room, and this room is now a time machine. So we decide to go back to 2020.
Okay.
When we step out of this room, and we're now in this house in 2020, you're going to be asleep in that room, right? As well as standing outside this door.
Okay.
Correct? I'm asking. Because that would be the 2020 you. The 2023 you is still like right over here.
If that's the theory we're going off of. The other theory is that I occupy now as who I am, the same, but at that point in time.
So you're saying like almost like how they do Wolverine, where his future consciousness takes over his past body.
Right.
Okay. See, that's another totally crazy one too, which is, I mean, they're all crazy. Don't get me wrong. None of them are, I think, crazier than the other. But see, that's an interesting fact too.
That would be great. Because
I
if you
think
could
that's
do that,
the best one.
You could take all of your knowledge and experience from the future
and then
of what you've experienced.
Like, new body.
And you're young again.
Yeah. With all that knowledge.
Yep.
Oh. And you would already know how to create the thing, so you could just keep doing that.
Yep. That's immortality.
You'd be Highlander. But it wouldn't be that great of an immortality, because it really wouldn't be immortality.
No, you're stuck.
It'd be Groundhog's Day, but it'd be Groundhog's like 30 years.
Glad you brought that movie up.
Okay, we're getting somewhere on this.
Literally my favorite movie. It's Groundhog's Day.
Here's the thing.
It's the only Bill Murray movie that I actually like. And I know that I'm going to go out on a whim and say that, but I'm sorry, it is.
I feel like you're lying because you're forgetting about Ghostbusters.
I'm not lying.
You don't like Ghostbusters?
It's not a Bill Murray movie. It's a I was thinking like him starring in a movie, like him is the star headliner person. That's a group of people.
It's an ensemble. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I liked Ghostbusters, but they're the Ghostbusters. It's
I get what you're saying,
right.
but
I don't like Scrooged and
Scrooged sucks.
Some of the other Bill Murray starred in movies.
I don't like What About Bob?
Yeah, I don't care for any. Groundhog Day.
I think a lot of people love What About Bob, though, and I just don't get it.
Groundhog Day.
I used to really like Richard Dreyfuss. I'll tell you that much, though. Yeah, Groundhog Day. I would say by those parameters, I'd probably agree is my favorite Bill Murray movie.
I think I just love that movie because I didn't think, first of all, they do a really good job with repeating each day and then like him living it and going through it
for a long time.
That's the point of the movie. The point
no,
of the movie
I mean, like
100%.
But like, he's a dick for a long time.
It takes him that's why he's stuck.
He's not there for like a month. He's there for like a couple years.
He learns piano and different languages.
Yeah.
But like
he's done some messed up stuff to those people.
So he's done everything he
and
possibly
everyone
could. And the only thing that sets him free from that is doing the right thing. And I think that's the whole premise of the movie is
right.
How many times can you be terrible before you're like, well, why am I even being terrible?
Now, have you ever watched?
He becomes a god, basically.
No, he is
in his.
Yeah. Have you ever watched any of the like rip-offs of that movie?
Meaning
movies with the exact same plot and premise.
There's tons of them.
Yeah, no. Have you ever watched any of those?
Yeah.
I think there was one. It was a Disney Channel one, and of course it's a kid, and I liked that one a lot. I wish I could. I want to say it's Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Could be.
Sounds about the right time frame.
He was a guy then.
Yeah. I could be totally wrong. It could just been a little blonde highlighted kid.
Same. Yeah.
Same thing. But like I remember at one point it's like there's the jelly bean guessing thing and he cheats to win, but then when he's being the good kid, he adds more in to make sure this one kid wins.
Oh.
Like a deserving kid.
Sure.
And there's like he keeps betting like his cousins or whatever about a live basketball game that like Shaq is going to do some crazy thing. And then there's the whole like salting the driveway so that the one like uncle doesn't drive through the freaking thing. You know, it's all those kind of things.
I remember that movie vaguely.
Right. And that's why I keep bringing up little bits and pieces because it's like it was the kid version of Groundhog's Day and I thought it was pretty good. The one thing I will say that I think pulls down Groundhog's Day. Is it Groundhog Day or Groundhog's Day?
I think it's possessive. I think it's the Hog's Day.
Okay,
Hog's Day.
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. Is that it's just dated? It's the only downside.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't see that. You know?
You don't?
Yes, it takes place, and you can tell it takes place longer ago.
The 80s.
Yeah, so what? But I mean, it's not like it has anything modern that you need to, I don't know.
Technology, for one.
Okay. Yes.
That would be a big difference.
Sure.
Because even if he was stuck in this one little city, now he's stuck in this one little city, but he has access to the internet.
Sure.
But he's not stuck in this one little city.
Yeah, but it would just do the same thing. It would just show like he's looking up the same thing on the internet. And it says the date of these articles and the date of this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like, you know, he's looking up the stuff on the internet and he knows exactly how much the stock prices are going to change in each one of the things. And
but then the day restarts all over again.
Right, no, but like,
day.
I get that. But in one day, you can still do a lot when you've, because, okay, hold up. That was another question. Wasn't, when he steals the money from out the back of the armored truck, doesn't he still have that money? Like, no. He doesn't? Okay.
Starts over.
Because that's where I was confused. I feel like there was multiple times where it was like that kind of carried over.
The only thing that carried over is what he's learned. So the skills that he's learned. Everything he wakes up, meh, 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 alarm, and it's like,
I've got you, babe.
I've got you.
It was Sonny and Cher, right?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
And then when it actually does progress and they still playing again.
Right. It's funny.
Oh, it's such a good movie. Do you actually think that we're ever going to get to the point where like we can travel into the past?
No, I don't think it's possible.
I don't. I hate to be like that guy, but I think I've mentioned this once before as well. Like, there's too many opportunities that people have put up that basically is like, hey, if time travel is real, show up at this time and date because we're ready to find out. And you know what I mean? Like, I remember when Stephen Hawking did that.
I think time can only travel in one direction. I think it's possible, as I said, for you to be out of space and time, right? Like, and maybe even, I don't know,
back in
interdimensionally, right? Travel and then jump back in the future, and you're still the same age because of, you know, that relativity, right? I think that's possible, yes, but not in the past. I think it goes in one direction. You try to, I don't think you can do that.
I just don't think. Yeah, I want to believe.
I want to believe,
but I just can't.
Yeah.
Nah. I don't think it's ever going to be really possible. It seems just too science fiction-y. I think that's part of it.
I think it's exciting to think about.
Oh, I think it's super cool idea, and like I love like these questions and things like that. I just, you know, I don't really think that it'll ever actually be possible though.
No, I don't.
'Cause I feel like if it ever was going, just by the way that the situation works, if it was ever going to be possible, and if you went back in time, it was the same timeline, then we would already know that it is possible because people would already be here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
time's interesting because
unless we're dealing with the whole butterfly effect where like they can't talk about it because if they talked about it, they would mess it all up.
Like, time travel is different than like dimensional travel, like different dimensions. I think that's a whole other topic and issue, but like
that's a topic that I don't know enough about and or even seen movies enough about to be able to have ideas.
We know that there are different dimensions. We know, I mean, we're in the third dimension, right? Mm-hmm. You know, we're in a 3D universe, but so I don't know. I think that part's very interesting. You know, what's the fourth dimension, or you know, what does that look like? And that's like, is that the quantum realm? Is that what's being referred to as? So I don't know enough about it.
It's so hot right now.
Quantum, yeah. Yeah, but so I think that's more likely to have, instead of people who travel through time, more travel through dimensions, interdimensional travel.
Gosh. That's even more just like ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Great. Now I got to worry about a different freaking dimensions version of myself.
Well, then it's like parallel dimensions, right? Like,
yeah,
explaining certain things of
Bizarro Michael.
It's
like 5 foot. 67 pounds.
He's a 5 foot skeleton.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's funny. No.
Anything else you want to hit up on with the whole time travel topic?
No, I think we've exhausted it. We've talked about some movies and some time travel theory and what we think our opinions of time travel.
I think it's a cool subject matter to think about. I think it has a great potential to give you some just like, whoa moments. But I feel like the validity of it actually becoming a thing is like 5%. I'm not going to say 0 because that's stupid, but like there's a 5% chance that it'll be discovered before humanity dies. I just don't think it's going to happen.
I said I don't think it's possible to travel back in time. I can't speak to forward in time, you know.
Like Forever Young, where he basically just gets frozen and then defrosted.
Yeah, it's Captain America.
Captain America, Walt Disney, whatever.
Same thing. Yeah, no, I think that that's, if anything, it would be something along the lines of that, you know?
Okay, really quick, just because it just popped into my head. Do you ever think that we're going to have the ability to be like Demolition Man, where they deep freeze somebody and then pull them out when they need them.
That's more likely. I mean, because
Or Winter Soldier, if you want to be more topical.
right, like cryogenic chambers and stuff.
That's the right word?
Cryogenics, right?
Right? That's right,
I
right?
believe so.
Okay. Yeah. Carbonite. Well, they're all the same basic thing where it's taking a life form, putting them in suspended animation, and then defrosting them at some point in time to then go back to their day to day.
Yeah, didn't someone like freeze their head?
That's Disney, finger quotes.
Yeah. I think it will be more likely, given our advances in science, to reanimate if everything's frozen, right? Before you're getting neurological degeneration, right? Where the synapses are just gone and there's no, neurons firing, anything like that. Like if you can bring it back, then yes, I think that we're good to go. That will happen.
That sounds more like a zombie apocalypse to me. But yeah, that is for a different time on a different show. Zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so we do want to thank you for listening to the Venti Question podcast and or watching us over at YouTube at youtube.com/@VentiQuestions. Definitely check out the YouTube channel. We just threw up some more of the
Screen discussions.
those things right there.
Where we talk about movies and such.
It's a good old time. We give our opinions on things, and then we ask what yours was. It works out for everyone. Yeah. I'm tired. I'm sorry, guys.
Like to travel back in time and delete that.
That's actually travel into the future when I'm editing and delete that. But yeah, so if you could do us a huge favor and you're listening to us anywhere where podcasts can be found, go ahead and give us a review. It really does help out just with the algorithms. Please give us a 5-star review if you would not mind. And the most important thing is actually the thing that is a little bit more time consuming is when you do that review, go ahead and write a comment with it, because for some reason those actually count like double time. And so on most of our platforms that I've seen, we have like 4 or 5 reviews, and I think on Apple Podcasts we have like 13 or 15, and they're all 5 stars, and we really appreciate that. But we only have like 2 actual like comment things. So if we can get some more people to do those, that'd be really great. Now, if you are watching us online at our YouTube, go ahead and throw something in the comments, man. Like, let us know what's your favorite piece of media that is time travel related.
Yeah.
Also, if you have any other ideas of some sort of subject you want us to give our uneducated opinions on, throw that down in the comments as well. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
If you like our Discord.
Nah, not yet.
If you like our Discord.
But yeah, other than that, have a great night. Bye-bye.